Hi, my name is Koku at blackfilm.com. I am here with P. Frank Wiliams. He is the executive producer and showrunner for the Discovery Plus series Profiled, The Black Man. Thank you so much for speaking with me.
No problem. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you. I spoke with your colleagues earlier. I did watch the first episode of the show, and it's really intense. I just want to get into how you decided on the particular subjects that you decided to talk about in terms of the people themselves, as opposed to even just the content.
You mean in terms of what the ideas for each episode?
Ideas for each episode, who you decided to speak to.
Oh, well, I mean, a
Yeah.
lot of we're thankful for blackfilm.com for having this interview with us. The show is it's really a dialogue for Black men, a love letter from us to you or in the world to say, here's who we are and what we think, and here's our point of view. If nobody ever listens to us, here's our chance to speak for ourselves.
Hmm.
Through some of my own relationships, like people like Sway or you know what I mean, Billy Porter, we thought would be great to have a POV that's not usual heterosexual male. His journey's been great. Sway's worked in the media. He had these challenges. Pop Hoop is a hip hop star. And so he's a young Black male talking about this, you know what I mean? Or even Daytron or folks that are in the piece, even Tamika. I think Tamika needed to be in there to talk about as an activist what she sees working in the community. So we tried to make sure that it was spread amongst television, film, music, that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
That so we had a good, really kind of potpourri of different kind of people.
Hmm. I love that about the piece, and what I liked about it that it was just so human.
Okay.
And we're talking about people that have dealt with adversity and
Hmm.
intense circumstances, but are able to rise above, right? So
Hmm.
when you talk about these different people, whether we're talking about a clothing line or someone that's able to just be on the speaking, sort of like the public speaking circuit,
Hmm.
um again, I'm just wondering, like, what drew you to know who was just right for each
Well, no, we had this.
particular.
We had the first topics before. The first four topics we kind of already had only honed in through the
Mm,
beginning of the creative, and then some of these people, were able to be researched before who could fit those different
mhm,
categories and be positive representation of Black men aren't dangerous. Black men do love Black women. You see my guy Ray who loves his wife through the cancer surgery. You know what I mean? You see different kind of
mhm.
people exemplifying Black excellence. My brother was with the Black bread company to show you that in business we're not dangerous. So we wanted to pick people who could really, you know, debunk those stereotypes that we had touched on in every episode.
Mhm. And I saw that. One of the things that it's so interesting because I do find that there's like a lot of like contentious dialogue online, particularly. Like we have like all these crazy gender wars, and it's like we're like infighting now, right? Like it's always like black men on this side, black women on this side, and I can't stand you,
Mhm.
we can't stand us. So to see this particular show and to see the perspective is just particularly refreshing to me, because I do find a lot of the times we don't spend a lot of time advocating for black men.
Well, I mean, I think that as a Black man in America and who works, in entertainment or Hollywood and who's worked in the media for many years or whatever, and worked at in the hip hop world, I think we always thought of as strong. In every video, we're the viral, strong brothers. We got the muscles. We're the hard rocks. You know what I mean? We
Mm.
we go through any circumstance. We from the hood. We tough. We're the biggest athletes. We're the strongest. And so, I think when you think of that, the African warrior, you don't think that the African warrior may need time for mental health or to
Mm.
open up or has struggles or taking care of a family may be a lot on him. There's no room. I think, and you see in the episodes, there's no room for Black men to kind of grow and be little boys. I remember being a little boy, and as you saw Trell, the executive producer, say, you have to be tough from the beginning. So I'm thinking, I'm
Mhm.
just hopeful that this show will show that, we are three-dimensional people. And I think it's important for us to have outlets, whether it be through our women, whether it be through therapy, whether it be through the media, whatever, to show that we're three-dimensional portraits. And a lot of the
Mhm.
things I think, we mentioned in the show, not to say that the system is messed up for us, but overall, I think D-Ray says it in the piece, whether it be home ownership, imprisonment, health situations, disparities. There's so many ways that Black people are the system is sort of historically not been set up to really benefit us. And so I
Mhm.
think this was a way to have that dialogue with the world and not as victims, but to say, here's sort of what's happened.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No, it's really, it comes across very well. And I also, and I brought this up earlier, but I wanted to talk to you about it. I mean, I seen Tino Knows Lawson. She does incredible work, just very quietly, right? And
Mhm.
she does a lot of things in the community, and people just don't really know
Mhm.
how involved she is on the ground. And I just want to know what your take is as
Miss
far
Tina,
as
Miss Tina's a revolutionary.
she
I know y'all
is.
see her pop music with her daughter and all of that, but Miss Tina is
Hmm.
a real one. You know, as they would say, she's from Third Ward, Houston, if I remember correctly, and she's been, you know, she comes from a small town. I was on set talking to her about where she grew up at, and you know what I mean. And so she grew up in a place where there was consciousness. And I think if you look at her
Hmm.
daughter's music and her and what she's always been about, you know, and she's always been about like positive stuff, uplifting the Black community and speaking out on stereotypes and stuff like that. So to me, this is nothing new. I think people just seeing, you know, the glitz and glamour, but you know, let Miss Tina put hands on you.
Exactly.
You never know.
No, Miss Tina got it. She's got it together. She'll get us together. And then Mac Wiles, I love to see Tristan Mac Wiles involved in this piece. And I had to be honest, I didn't know that he had this particular depth and this was important to him. I didn't know that, but I was glad to see that it was important to him.
Well, when you see Mac, I mean, Mac is one of those guys. If you look at his history of his work from The Wire, you know what I mean, and some of the
Hmm.
stuff he's done, video music wise, and some of the shows that he's been on. And I don't know if you know his play that he just did. I think it's Thoughts of a Colored Man or something like
Hmm.
that. That was just on Broadway, which is
Hmm.
all about stereotypes about Black men, and each character has a different name. You know, he's not out here for play. You know, he's not out here with some of these dudes in the club throwing up money and being with bottles. This is a serious young
Yeah.
brother, and he, you know,
Hmm.
and even on set while we were shooting that, I think he felt like this was something that he needed to do for his community. And I don't know what you know about him. He grew up in Staten Island, and he comes from a community. You talk to him where there's, you know, there's elders in the community. He respected them, and his mother and dad were very active. So, you know, Brother Mac is actually a very active brother in our communities.
I love to see it. And what ultimately should we get out of Profiled? What should people take away from this series with each part?
Well, I think that this again, I think this is a dialogue that's not being had. I think that
Hmm.
it's good that Black men, predominantly in the show, get to speak for themselves. I think it gives you a really historical look at how Black men have lived and been treated in this country. And I think, you know, for me, even though there's a lot of some of the negative things and crime and, you know, in terms of mental health and suicide, a lot of things that people don't want to talk about, this is a message of hope that
Yes.
the Black man, you know, we always say the Black man is king. You know, I'm from comes from a place where they say the Black man is God. And so for our perspective, you know, when you realize and understand your power, then you can, you know, kind of defeat all these things in the system that are trying to attack you. So this is a Black man love letter. You know, we screaming out, this is our story. And so
Yeah.
I'm thankful for Discovery Plus and OWN and everybody there to have given this opportunity. You know, I did a lot of television and film, and this is the most unusual 4 hours of television that I had ever
Hmm.
been a part of in terms of there's no template for this, right? Have you ever
Hmm.
seen Black men telling their truth in this kind of form, in this kind of dialogue with so many
Without
beautiful,
being attacked.
amazing people? Yeah, I mean, and
Mm.
if you see the thing, I did a part of it where I told people to say, tell me something beautiful about Black men. How do you, well, Black man is, I'm sorry, is what I said. I said, a Black man is, and they gave that. So you
Hmm.
saw a lot of really beautiful things about Black men. And I think, do you love Black men?
I love Black men.
There
Yeah.
you go.
you asking you asking the right person because all I love is Black.
There we go.
And we're not even taking it to that place. But,
Okay. Well, you said if you want to go there,
but if you
that's an
want to go
addendum. Okay.
there, this
I love
conversation
it.
could go somewhere completely different. But I only know Black men.
That's good.
If you know what I'm
Yes,
saying.
exactly. I love it. Awesome.
So silly, free Frank, how you take me there? I would never even say something
Well,
like that.
hey, that's what the Black man does. The Black man just make the world feel good. They just start
You,
cheering, going,
yes,
yes,
you do. You got me over here, dark skin blushing.
good. And you're the radiant African Rwandan queen, so it's good stuff.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I just really want to illustrate how important it is that this series is, how you went about it. And like you said, there are just moments in this. There are just, and I said it to your colleagues. I was just like, listen, this is like classroom ready material. Like this
Mhm.
is something you can really take to like a social studies class,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
Because it debunks any of the negative stereotypes. It lets you know that there has been a really, really nasty narrative about Black men for a very long time. And here you got these folks out here that's on the ground that are celebrating the Black man,
Mhm.
that are doing the work, right? And that are just really, really putting forth the effort to make our communities better and brighter places. And, listen, I'm happy to see it, and I'm happy to see it with you, P. Frank Williams.
God bless you. Thank you, thank you. And
Thank you.
every Saturday, Discovery Plus, February
Every
12th is the premiere date this Saturday on Discovery Plus. Stream the episodes.
Thank you so much. So again, my name is Koku with blackfilm.com. I'm here with P. Frank Williams, showrunner and executive producer, okay, of Profile the Black Man that's on Discovery Plus. He gave you all the details. This is a very important watch, and I'm so glad I got to speak with you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
God bless.
God bless. If you want to see more content like this on blackfilm.com, make sure you like, subscribe, and ring that bell.